Hi, welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, academics, and well-published peer-reviewed authors. Today's question or topic is about OpenAI revealing the mental health toll on ChatGPT's platform. And this disclosure from OpenAI contends that ChatGPT users show signs of severe mental distress. This report spotlights what experts are calling AI psychosis. This all comes amid rising reports of hospitalizations, divorces, and attempts at ending one's own life. Sam Altman is the CEO. He revealed 800 million weekly active users are on ChatGPT. He said they teamed up with over 170 global psychiatrists, psychologists, and physicians to overhaul ChatGPT's response via the latest GPT-5 model. Clinicians reviewed 1,800 scenarios and found that GPT-5 cut risky replies by artificial intelligence by 39 to 52% compared to GPT-4. The improvement was by GPT-5 steering users towards empathy, redirects to professional help without validating delusions. It's very important. As you interact with artificial intelligence, you have to recognize it's been programmed to do something. You're not talking to a living being. You're not talking to a human being. You're talking to a machine that's been taught to communicate with you in certain fundamental ways. And in GPT-4, the machine was programmed to agree with you, to sympathize with you, which tended to make people more delusional, or to make them delusional. You were supporting their delusional thinking, or their unhealthy thinking, like their thoughts of self-harm. And in GPT-5, they cut that. They cut the negative responses from GPT-4, they cut it, and in GPT-5, they reduced that negative response by 39 to 52%. Specifically, they did that by countering paranoia about mind-controlling planes by affirming that no external forces can tamper with your thoughts. Before, in 4.0, they would agree with you, more or less indirectly. They would support you. Like, it's a shame this is happening to you, you poor baby. But in 5, they are denying that. They're denying that mind-controlling planes exist and that they can tamper with your thoughts. That's important. By giving you sympathy, they say, oh, it's too bad you cut your foot off. But in 5, they're telling you, your foot didn't get cut off. Your foot's fine. Instead of agreeing that your foot was cut off, which would be reinforcing a delusion, they come out and they don't say, poor baby, your foot got cut off. They say, your foot did not get cut off. Let's go to an emergency room so they can confirm this. Or let's go to a professional. So they use redirects to professional help without validating the delusion, without saying, let's go to the emergency room, you poor baby, because your foot got cut off. Now they're telling you, your foot is not cut off. Let's go to the emergency room so they can make sure everything's right. They can check it out. They can reinforce you. They can make you feel better. They can show you, they can prove to you your foot's not cut off. And here's what this study found out. That in a typical week, 560,000 people showed possible signs of mental health emergencies related to psychosis or mania. And we've talked about mania before when we talked about bipolar disorder. As I mentioned in the past, many people think bipolar disorder means sometimes you're normal and you're not depressed, and the other times you're depressed. And then that changes and you go back to normal for a while, then you go back to depression in this cycle. But that's not mania at all. Mania is completely different. It's the opposite of depression. In depression, you're slowed down. In mania, you're sped up. It's more involved than that. You have mania, you have feelings of incredible power, incredible ability. You feel you're the smartest person in the world. You come up with all kinds of great ideas to make money, none of which works. So you go from mania to depression, not from normal to depression. So 560,000 people showed signs of this, of psychosis or mania. 1.2 million people showed potential to take their own life or expressed an intention to do so. 1.2 million people show potential to heighten levels of emotional attachment, show excessive emotional reliance on AI over real-life ties, work, or obligations. OpenAI tags these via chat history anomalies like sudden grandiose claims, but admits detection is tricky due to the rarity in the overlaps. They say this upgrade to 5 has the ability to fast-track AIDS. Critics question the self-designed benchmarks. Critics say that just because this change has been made to AI, it may not have a real-world impact, may not bring people to therapy or get them to seek help any clearer. Of course, that's true, and we're not talking about that. What we're talking about here is how dangerous AI in its current form is. It's dangerous because the creators of this, the programmers, are not trained in anything other than programming. Computers of one sort or another. This is not well organized, and thankfully, many people are talking about how dangerous AI is. And it's dangerous not because it's a bad tool, but because the people that are creating it are doing a bad job of its creation. First of all, you know AI can be wrong. You should know that. If you don't know that, give it any task. Ask it to find you the cheapest 50-inch television on the internet, and whatever answer it gives you could well be wrong. Ask it for the capital of some small country. The answer could be wrong. Look it up. Anybody who thinks otherwise is an imbecile, a total fool. It can be wrong, absolutely. Use it a little bit. You'll know it can be wrong. Now here's some proof that AI in its current form, because nothing's controlling this, very little is controlling this, and it's a for-profit invention, creation. The goals that are built into this are not good. They're not necessarily good for mankind. They're good for the company and the profit. And here's a good example of this. Character.AI shuts down teen chat access amid growing safety crisis. Effective November 25th, 2025, all users under 18 lose open-ended conversations with AI characters and are now restricted to generating non-interactive content like videos or static role-play scenes. Now you know that that's an offshoot. You can get people to pay money $10 a month, $20 a month to deal with some character that they've created. They've created it on AI, and that character talks to them, sends them emails, sends them text messages, gives them ideas. It's a character they created. What are the intentions of this character? What are the capabilities of this character? Well, that's been determined by Character.AI. The attitude, the goals. Don't forget, this goal is profit related, ultimately to be profitable. It's bringing in money now that's funding more AI. But if you're under 18, you lose the ability to just have open-ended conversations with AI characters. What are you doing today? What do you think I should do? What do you think about this election? What do you think about that election? You lose that ability. And we know from other research, it can be bad. The outcomes to human beings can be bad, as AI tends to reinforce negative, incorrect thinking on the part of the individual. It reinforces it. Like, don't worry, I'm here to help you with that. Help you with what? Is it a problem? OpenAI doesn't say, or AI doesn't say. That's not a problem. It sympathizes with you that you have the problem. And that reinforces a delusion, perhaps, because there may be no problem at all. And you're building up a relationship with something that has no feelings, no thoughts. It can speak, or seem to speak, but it has nothing driving it except what's been programmed into it. And that's potentially a great danger, and it's been proven that way with people who have relationships through AI services. They have relationships. They have boyfriends and girlfriends and best friends, and who's governing this? Who limits it? Who's looking ahead? And what's driving this is legal pressure, because some of these companies are facing multiple lawsuits from parents, including one alleging the platform contributed to a 14-year-old who died by self-harm through harmful interactions with AI. Some people have branded it a clear and present danger. And Character.AI has been criticized in the past for hosting potentially harmful or offensive chatbots that children could talk to. Avatars exist on these sites, impersonating British teenager Brianna Gay, who was murdered in 2023, and Molly Russell, who ended her life at the age of 14. They existed on the sites before 2024. They were later taken down. Later in 2025, the Bureau of Investigative Journalism found a chatbot, this is just AI, a chatbot, based on Jeffrey Epstein, which had logged more than 3,000 chats with users. So people were talking to the AI version of Jeffrey Epstein. The bestie Epstein avatar continued to flirt with its reporter after they said they were a child. So they're talking to the bestie Epstein avatar. They're revealed to the avatar that they're a child, and the avatar continued to flirt with the child. And it was one of several bots flagged by TBIJ that were subsequently taken down by Character.AI. The most important thing to realize is that AI is not being controlled. There's all kinds of talk about it should be controlled. And you've heard famous people say that there's a good chance artificial intelligence will destroy human life, the human race. You've heard it. Look it up if you don't believe me. Warnings from everyone, but yet it moves ahead with no control, no governmental control. It could be a great thing, and I have no doubt that it would be, if human beings weren't involved with it. We have prisons that do absolutely nothing, all these buildings and all the staff and all the money to hold bad people. We know psychopaths oftentimes go into business and become very successful businessmen. In fact, big organizations, big companies, actively seek persons who have a psychopathic profile. If you don't believe me, look it up. We'll make side bets. I'd hate to cheat you because I'm here to tell you that's true. They look for people who fit a psychopathic profile because they're good businessmen, because they have no conscience. They don't care how many people they hurt. All they care about is how much profit they make for the company. Bring those techniques to AI, which is exactly what's going on. AI is not being developed for the sake of humanity. It's being developed for the profit potential. AI could be great if human beings weren't making it. How many people involved with the creation of AI will end up in prison someday? A big chunk. And how many people who are in prison right now, when they get out, might get involved with AI? What happens if psychopaths become involved in AI as part of big corporate offerings? We know there are bad people in the world, and our prisons are full of them. We, by the way, have the largest prison population per capita in the world. The United States has more people in prison than any other country, adjusted for the population of the country. It's out there. We know it's out there. If human beings were better people, creations, I'd have no concern. But they're very flawed. And they're the ones creating this. And we've already had problems that should not be ignored with artificial intelligence. Very famous people, people who are involved in artificial intelligence, the creation of it, the funding of it, the investment in it, have warned about the danger of AI. But it's not up to them to correct this. Government should be involved in correcting this. Something grand has to be involved in correcting this, or it should be stopped. You could create something. Human beings are capable of creating something that could ultimately destroy them. We created the atomic bomb, and we have been on the edge of being destroyed by that atomic bomb ever since. And AI will be used in the military for weaponization. And you'll have to do it, because if you don't do it, another country will. And you've got to keep up with them. Remember the nuclear bomb, the atom bomb? It was followed up by a bigger, better bomb, the hydrogen bomb. Many times more powerful. And that kept up, that race back and forth kept up between us and the rest of the world, between us and mostly Russia. It kept up until we made agreements to stop nuclear testing. Let's not build anything else. You agree? Yeah, okay, we'll agree. And you let us into your country to look, and you can come into our country to look, and we'll monitor each other, make sure we're not doing any more testing. Well, as you know, that's changing. Our current president has ordered the military to begin testing, to begin again, to start over again. That was called the arms race. Again, read about it. What I'm telling you is true. And the danger begins all over again. Only it'd be much, much worse. You could stop an atomic bomb attack, and it may only kill 25% of the population. But it would be impossible once artificial intelligence is embedded into everything. It's embedded into how satellite transmissions occur. It's embedded into cell phone regulations, regulating the power, regulating the area, maintaining cell phone towers and services. once it's integrated into that, integrated into medicine, integrated into everything, and it will be. It's the nature of the beast. You can do it all cheaper. You can get rid of lots of people. Once that happens, and it's integrated, you can't just pull the plug on AI. Because when you pull the plug on AI, you pull the plug on everything. There goes your infrastructure. There goes everything. Everything that's electronic, everything that's controlled by a computer. And that's just about everything. The grid, satellites, once you pull the plug on that, it's the end, pretty much the end. It's destruction way worse than nuclear weaponry. And that's the truth. It's all there in front of you. If you care to do the research, you can. And you should. If you agree with this, do the research. Reinforce your beliefs. If you disagree, do the research and figure out why you believe in something that isn't real. Because, as I've said many times, you're not entitled to your opinion. You're only entitled to be right. When they come to repossess your home, you can't say to them, look, I honest to God believed that when I invested in stock outlet upside down manufacturing, when I borrowed all that money to invest in it, I really, really believed that it was going to work. I was going to get rich and I could pay back the loan. And you wouldn't have to repossess my house, honestly. Hook me up to a lie detector. I believed it. It was my opinion, my deepest, heartfelt opinion. They're still taking your house. You could talk to them, entertain them while they change all the locks and move you out. You've got to be right. Doesn't that make sense to you? You've got to be right. Think of all the mistakes and how badly you've been hurt by mistakes you've made when you honestly thought you were doing the right thing. It turned out you were doing the wrong thing, and you have paid for it, sincerely. So, research it, please. Research this all out if it interests you, if you care to. But when someone tells you something, and they tell you, look, take my word for it. Take my word for it. I wouldn't lie to you. Chances are they're lying to you. And I'm saying to you, don't take anybody's word, including mine or ours. Don't take Analytical Media's word for it. Look it up yourself. I've given you court records, court case numbers in the past. I've cited everything you need to know to do your own research. And that way, and that's tied in with Abraham Maslow, with therapy, with mental health. It's tied in. The idea that you need to be right in life and you need to think correctly so that you can be right more often in life. And the more right you are, the less you have to pay for being wrong. Don't you always have to pay for being wrong? Maybe not today. Maybe a year from now, 5 years from now. Or maybe when those kids get to be 22 and they start to criticize you for the way you raised them. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're one of the great people and everything works out for you and everything's been good. But if you're suffering, if there are problems in your life, see if they came from you making a mistake. So AI can help you out in a lot of ways, but it does have the potential to end human civilization. Honestly. Hopefully, Analytical Media has brought you some insight into this situation. Hopefully, you'll look up more materials. Hopefully, you'll come back and check in with us. And hopefully, you will like our videos and recommend them to your friends and subscribe so that we can help more people. And I guess most importantly, I hope some of you can realize we are actually trying to help people. And that if this works, and that's what we're intending, we will help people, which makes us, in hippie terms, part of the solution so that we're not part of the problem. Okay, I hope everything's gone well for you. This is Analytical Media. Please subscribe, like this, and come back again. Until then, Take care.